Good Tuesday afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. Let's get right to your headlines. New this afternoon, wildfires burning in Minnesota are getting out of control and are 0% contained at this point. According to the Department of Natural Resources, there have been more than 900 wildfires in our state this year, and more than 37,000 acres burned. That is triple what Minnesota deals with in a typical year. The dry, warm, and windy conditions not helping those fire crews push back the flames at all. The St. Louis County Sheriff says evacuations in the area of the Camp House fire may be extended today. Here's what officials said today about their response.
Currently, the fire status is 11,788 acres. We have currently around 80 responders on it, various from federal, state, municipal, and local partners. We're looking at having about 32 engines consisting of structure engines and wildland fire engines, multiple hand crews, around 6 dozers, multiple water tenders, specialty tracked equipment, and then heavy aviation resources as well. Today's planned actions, with the expected fire behavior, another warm and hot, dry day, you're looking at point source protection. So you're looking at protecting specific risks such as infrastructure, private property. Specific location will be focusing resources to protect those areas. Those responders are also be working on suppression efforts as well, but that'll be dictated by the fire behavior, along with the abilities they have to, again, prioritize those point source protection. Right now it's been, again, infrastructure and private property. Going into the priorities, firefighter and public safety is the number one thing we are focused on as the incident management team. Yesterday with the dynamic fire behavior, we wanted to make sure to prioritize that fire safety as homes were impacted, again, with the high fire behavior. Now for the fire behavior, we were experiencing short group torching, very short crown runs, but primarily the biggest issue we were experiencing were spot fires. There's a heavy dead component due to bugworm, so there's a lot of receptive fuels everywhere. Couple that with the challenging winds, as you feel right here today, the lake effect has been influencing the fire, causing issues for firefighters with containment as they do their best to suppress the fire and, again, prioritize point protection. For the future, we're looking at having the Eastern Area Complex Incident Management Team. That's a larger, more complex incident management team. They'll be able to handle the complexities of this fire. They'll also be joining and managing the Jenkins fire. So we're managing that as a complex. The plan is for them to take over this incident and the Jenkins fire tomorrow. The exact time has not been negotiated yet, but that is still the plan right now. Update on the fire itself. Currently, the fire is north of Indian Lake. It is south of Town Line Road. It is east of Breda Lake. And finally, it has just reached Murphy Lake.
Last night was there's a lot of our firefighters out there with no sleep, really tough conditions, and pretty dangerous fires that are out there. And I think the conditions that we've seen, incredibly dry, been in drought for some, of course these unseasonably high temperatures, and then exceedingly low humidity have created a really difficult situation. And just to get an idea of what we've been dealing with this fire season, Minnesota experiences a little over 1,100 fires a year. We've already had 970. Sunday alone we had 40. Monday, which was the first day of this incident, that was on Sunday. On Monday, we had another 40 fires, so we had over 80 fires burning. Many of those have been contained and are under control. There are 3 big ones where you'll hear the details about. The Camp House fire you keep hearing about is the one that has burned 80 structures and is a pretty dangerous one. So you're going to hear about these 3 fires. You're going to hear about the interagency coordination that's happening with both local agencies, the Minnesota DNR, our partners in the Forestry Service, communicating up to the federal government about what's happening here. These fires, by the way, and you'll hear more details on them, they are 0% contained at this time. These are dangerous fires that are still moving, still threatening. I would make the case, and again, the plea for your own safety, if folks come along and ask for an evacuation. I know these are difficult decisions to make. We would ask that you please do so. It's not only for your own safety, it's for the firefighters' safety, because protecting these buildings and life puts them at risk. And also, just don't burn. This is, I think, a statewide thing. Whether we get something out and we put something as alerts, it is just too hot, too dry, too dangerous, and our resources will get spread too thin, because what's going into these 3 fires, and again, on Sunday, when they first started, these folks knew what was coming. They were prepared for it. We put the Guard on alert. General Menke will talk about that. Yesterday, I signed the executive order activating them, and those Chinooks are in the fight right now with our members of the Minnesota National Guard. So developing situation, still incredibly dangerous. It's going to take a few days. We're hoping again that Thursday looks like there's some rain and some cooler temperatures on the horizon. But this is going to be an ongoing battle probably throughout most of the summer. And I think right now it's important for us to start thinking about the habits we're doing, start thinking about containment, and making sure that we're prepared to protect property and, of course, most importantly, protect life. With that, I'm going to turn it over to DNR Commissioner Stroman.
Thank you, Governor. And as you noted, Minnesota is experiencing a very rapidly changing early wildfire season. Our fire danger conditions have been very high during many periods this spring, and they have been in extreme conditions since May 11th. There are a number of factors that are contributing to these conditions, including uncommonly dry fuels, warm temperatures, and increasing drought across the state. With these conditions, none of the current fires across the state are easily suppressed, and they require considerable time and resources to extinguish.
Right now, several communities are being forced out up north because of those fires, and we're starting to hear some of the stories and just how close those flames are coming to people's cabins.
Watching one come up a little chase, and then all of a sudden I saw pure flames.
It is nerve-wracking. I meant, this is our world, this is what we have. I retired here. This is my forever home. It's our castle, you know, even though it's small. We don't wish to see anything happen, not just to us, but to our neighbors as well. So we just pray and keep them in our hearts.
We know at least 80 structures have been lost in the fires so far. Half of those are homes. That's according to the governor. What sparked the fires is still under investigation. The Minnesota DNR has 45 field offices across the state where firefighters have been working hard to fight those wildfires. Gordon Severson stopped by their office in Cambridge to see some of the equipment that they're using to help keep people safe.
When you're fighting wildfires outside the city,
this is a pump right here.
You don't have the luxury of a fire hydrant on every street corner.
Drawing water out from a river, lake, pond.
You either have to pump the water or bring it with you.
The Type 4 like this engine carries 850 gallons of water.
And sometimes you have to go places a normal truck just can't go.
This is one of our track vehicles.
Working in the woods, equipment is everything.
They can climb over large logs or debris.
DNR Fire Prevention Specialist Karen Harrison says they're putting a lot of miles on their equipment this week.
First thing in the morning, we're checking over every vehicle every day.
Their field office in Cambridge is seeing a few calls a day.
It's really hot, it's dry, and it's windy.
We stopped by just as they were switching the sign from very high to extreme fire risk.
I'm telling people, don't be fooled by the green, because if you look closely, there's still a lot of dry, dead vegetation.
About once per day, they're even calling in air support. This video was captured on Sunday showing their helicopter dropping water on a wildfire in the North Metro.
It's very helpful to have.
Tom Simone works on the flight crew. He says a team of 3 crew members and a pilot respond to calls that need extra help from above.
We land, we get out, we put this bucket on, and we go to work fighting the fire.
But despite all of their equipment, their greatest tool is prevention.
Anything that you're doing right now, any spark could create a wildfire, and because of the conditions, it can spread really rapidly and get out of control.
Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.